What a lively boy you have there. I'm so glad you were born, I said, holding my son gently. I was immersed in joy. Everyone in the room cheered when they saw my son crying loudly. Then my husband came in late. Look, the child we've always wanted. However, my husband didn't say anything upon seeing our newborn son. In fact, he didn't even change his expression. I could feel a tense atmosphere in the hospital room. Hey, say something. I couldn't bear it any longer and spoke up, but he didn't even look at me. Then suddenly, "Doctor, please do a DNA test." Everyone in the room, except my husband, showed their surprise. What are you talking about? Is that child really mine? Of course he is. But my husband didn't believe it. We had so much trouble having a child. Something's definitely wrong. It must be another man's child. Calm down. The doctor, who took care of me and was an old friend, also tried to calm my husband. I won't accept it. Stop it. Don't say things that don't make sense. You're one to talk, deceiving me. The conversation was going nowhere. Our pointless argument continued. Then the doctor made a suggestion to stop our quarrel. Let's do a DNA test to find out everything. A week later, when I went to hear the results, my husband was already there, smirking in a creepy way. And the doctor said something shocking. There's no parent-child relationship with the born child. However, there was an unbelievable truth hidden behind this. My name is Emily Johnson, a 30-year-old office worker. I married my husband, Mark, about 3 years ago, and I was due to give birth in a few months. It had been a long journey to get here, and there had been many challenges. Shouldn't we start thinking about having a child? Yes, we should. We started thinking about having a child after 2 years of marriage, as we were about to turn 30. We both wanted a child. We're not getting any younger, and I want to show our parents their grandchild soon. Yeah, my parents never really pushed us, but I think they were hinting at wanting grandchildren. After that, we spared no effort in trying to conceive a child, but it just wasn't happening. To make matters worse, my husband's frustration grew as time went by. Do you want to do it tonight? I'm tired, let's do it some other time. The frequency of our intimate moments decreased, and our relationship became strained. Before I knew it, I had turned 30. That's when I decided to talk to my sister, Natalie, who was already married with 3 kids. How was it for you? I got pregnant pretty easily. Oh, I see. Why don't you try seducing him? That was my younger brother, Alex, chiming in. I couldn't help but sigh. Why are you even here? I thought it might be interesting. That's right, I remembered. Alex has always been quick to jump into anything he finds interesting. Well, Alex is like this, but maybe you can get some ideas from him. Exactly like. I said, just give him some stimulation. That's easier said than done. Just do it. After talking for about 2 hours, we parted ways. On my way home, I was deep in thought about what to do next, and before I knew it, I had arrived home. I entered the house with a bit of nervousness. Where have you been? I went to see my sister. Oh, okay. His response was indifferent. That night, I decided to wear my sexiest lingerie and tried to seduce my husband. What's gotten into you? He was clearly surprised. I just thought it might be nice for a change. Okay. That night, we were intimate for the first time in a long while. I felt fulfilled and happy, but that was the last time my husband and I were together in that way. I tried several times, but eventually, my husband stopped paying any attention to me. Not only did my husband stop paying attention to me, but he also started coming home increasingly late and hardly ever spent time at home. Are you going to be late again tonight? Yeah, so you can go to bed first. Okay, I started to question what it even meant to be married. My mood sank and I lost my appetite. I had thought that getting pregnant would bring back the gentle husband I knew, but we hadn't been intimate for months. Moreover, I started to suspect that he might be having an affair. I'm home. I'm tired, so I'm going to take a bath and then go to bed. Oh, let me take care of your suit. Thanks. It was when I was hanging his suit on a hanger that I noticed a sweet scent from the neckline. Upon closer inspection, it smelled like perfume, definitely not something my husband would wear. Unsure of what to do, I impulsively called my sister. What's up at this hour? Oh well, I wasn't even sure how to explain it. Just calm down, take a few deep breaths. Following her advice, I took a few deep breaths. Feeling a bit calmer, I explained the situation to my sister. Mark's suit smells like perfume. Could it be accidental, right? Like from a woman at his workplace. But it's on the collar. Is that likely? That does seem unusual. Should I confront him about it? My sister seemed thoughtful. It might be an option, but maybe not right now. Why not? Is there a reason? There's still a chance it's coincidental, and if you ask him now, he might just dodge the question. It's tough, but letting it go for now might be wise. Rushing into things could backfire. She had a point. If I hadn't talked to her, I might have confronted my husband right away. Okay, I'll follow your advice for now. Also, keep an eye out for anything unusual. And remember, you can always call me if something comes up. Okay. I hung up the phone, feeling lighter than before the call. What are you doing there? Oh, nothing. I'm going to bed. Don't stay up too late. Okay, I won't. My heart nearly stopped. I don't think he heard my conversation with my sister, but I worried if he was suspicious. I kept a close eye on my husband's actions. You've been coming home earlier lately. Yeah, work's calmed down a bit. Oh, really? Something on your mind? No, not really. After that, I didn't notice the perfume scent on his clothes anymore. Maybe, as my sister suggested, it was just a one-time thing. If everything stayed peaceful, that was fine by me. Then 3 months after our intimate moments ceased, I noticed some changes in myself. I felt sluggish, and eating often made me nauseous. And then my sister called. How have you been feeling? Mark's been normal, but oh, what is it? I told her about my recent physical symptoms. Then my sister reacted with surprise. Are you serious? Yes, why? You might be pregnant. Wait a second. While still on the phone, I rummaged through my drawers and found a pregnancy test I didn't remember buying. I rushed to the bathroom to test. Waiting for the result was nerve-wracking. I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant, sis, really. Didn't you notice? Yes, I missed my period, but I thought it was nothing unusual. But that's great news. Yeah, I'll tell our parents. You should tell Mark. I felt over the moon. Finally, a baby. I eagerly awaited Mark's return home. When I heard the door, I rushed to greet him. Why the rush? I'm pregnant. Pregnant? Yes, I just took the test, and it's positive. I expected him to share my joy, but his reaction was not what I had imagined. So I have a friend who works in obstetrics and gynecology. Really? Yeah, I'll talk to him. He's very skilled. Thank you. Despite my lingering doubts, I later went to the obstetrics and gynecology clinic that my husband recommended. The doctor in charge was Dr. Smith, my husband's friend. First of all, congratulations on your pregnancy. Thank you, but I'm unsure about my husband's feelings. Don't worry about that. He was just a bit confused. When I talked to him, he was actually happy. Really? Yeah, his words reassured me. I couldn't have handled it if he had said he didn't want the child. Now the appointment was brief, and I returned home feeling uplifted. I'm home. Welcome back. How was it? Everything seems fine for now. That's great. It seemed Dr. Smith was right. My husband was just initially confused. I believed we could work through this together. At first, he was supportive with household chores and shopping as my pregnancy progressed. However, as my belly grew, he gradually became distant again. Have you heard anything from my husband? No, I haven't heard anything. I had a feeling Dr. Smith was avoiding my gaze. I see. I kept asking about my husband at every appointment. It almost felt pointless. What should I do? I hoped that once the baby was born, things would change for the better. Then one night, my husband suddenly accused me of infidelity. Have you been meeting someone lately? What? Who would I meet in this condition? Isn't that more your thing? Do you have any proof? I heard you're meeting men. Outside, that's not true. It was my brother, if you must know. Is that the truth? Do you want me to call him? Never mind, I get it. The atmosphere remained tense as the due date approached. The next day, labor started and I headed to the hospital. My husband was at work, so I called my parents to accompany me. The birth canal is already opening a bit. Is that so? Let's head to the delivery room. Please take care of me. I was told I would be admitted to the hospital immediately after giving birth. My parents contacted my husband. But what about Mark? He's busy with work and can't make it to the birth. I see. Sorry for bothering you to contact him. Now that it's come to this, focus on your delivery. Yeah, I wondered if our recent argument had affected his decision not to come. Part of me couldn't help but think he might have been there otherwise. 4 hours after entering the delivery room, which is quick for a first birth, I safely gave birth. What a lively boy! I'm so glad you were born. I held my son and soaked in the joy. Everyone in the room cheered at my son's loud cries. I moved to my hospital room and fell asleep from the exhaustion of giving birth, with my parents by my side the whole time. Later, my husband arrived with Dr. Smith. Look, the child we've always wanted. However, he didn't say a word to our newborn son, nor did his expression change. I felt a tense atmosphere in the room. Hey, say something. Unable to bear it, I spoke up, but he wouldn't even look at me. Then, shockingly, Doctor, please do a DNA test. What? Everyone, except my husband, was surprised. What are you talking about? Is that child really mine? Of course he is, but my husband didn't believe it. We had so much trouble having a child. It must be someone else's. Calm down. Dr. Smith, who knew us, tried to calm my husband. I won't accept it. Stop it. Don't talk nonsense. You're one to talk, deceiving me. The argument seemed pointless. The pointless argument between my husband and me continued even after that. Dr. Smith then suggested something to stop our argument. Let's do a DNA test. That will clarify everything. I apologize, but please do it. I caught a glimpse of my husband's face. It seemed like he was smirking faintly. Looking again, he was expressionless. I thought it might have been my imagination. Then, without a word to me, my husband left the hospital room. Tears naturally began to flow from my eyes. Then my sister and brother entered the room. The baby is born, right? Sorry we're late. Huh, sis, read the room. My sister was smiling, but my brother's comment made her realize the situation. The room was again enveloped in an uneasy atmosphere. What happened, and where's your husband? He was here until a moment ago, but he left. He left? Yes, I explained everything to my sister and brother. As I spoke, tears streamed down my face again, remembering my husband's words. How dare he say that to my sweet sister? A DNA test. Ridiculous. It seemed like my sister was angry on my behalf. Meanwhile, my brother appeared deep in thought. "Alex, what are you thinking so hard about?" Well, I was wondering why he'd want a DNA test. Maybe he thinks Emily cheated. That could be it. He heard about me and Alex being together and misunderstood. What? That's ridiculous. My brother continued to mumble and shake his head. So we just have to wait for the test results. Yes, it's definitely Mark's child. Then my sister hugged me gently. "Everything will be okay. We know how hard you've worked." "Thank you." I made up my mind. If my husband insisted that much, I'd face it head-on. The DNA test was conducted as he requested, and the results were due in a week. On the day of the result, I was guided to the consultation room, where my husband was already waiting, smirking unpleasantly. Now we'll see if what I've been saying is true. I didn't respond to his taunt. Then Dr. Smith took out the report. Let's get straight to the conclusion. Yes, the DNA test results show that there is no parent-child relationship between Mark and the newborn child. What? That can't be right. The child is supposed to be mine and Mark's. Then laughing, Mark said, "See, I told you it's not my child." I knew it from the start. The shocking result left me speechless. You're truly the worst, trying to pass off someone else's child as mine. That's not true. I wouldn't do that. But the results are right here. Mark pointed at me and said, "This means we have to get a divorce. This is your fault. I'll make sure to demand a hefty alimony." Then he left the consultation room laughing. I was stunned, unable to think. My worried sister and brother, who had been waiting outside, came in. Just to be cautious, I had asked my sister and brother to wait outside for me. He just left, laughing. "I'll leave you two now." "Thank you." "So what happened?" "The test says there's no parent-child relationship with Mark. Let's go back to your room for now." Yes. We returned to my room, and I was still in disbelief. I just can't believe this. "I have something I want to check." "Check." "Yes, there's something I want you to do, Emily." My brother asked me to prepare something, though I didn't know what it was for. "I think it will be okay. I'm sorry to ask this of you, but please, I need your help." Then I received a call from Mark, who had just left. "It's Mark, you should answer it." Okay, I put it on speaker and answered. As I said before, the divorce is definite. I told my parents, and they said to leave you quickly. Your parents too. Yes, and don't forget about the alimony and the hospital bills. Okay, I understand. I'm planning to hire a lawyer too. That's a waste, but do what you want. I will. Anyway, I'm busy with various preparations, so I'll contact you again later. With that, Mark ended the call. What a selfish man. Just stay calm. I think it'll be okay. Really, we'll do what we can. 3 days later, I was discharged from the hospital with my son. Natalie and Alex came to pick us up, and we went back home. We planned to move my belongings out while Mark was at work. Upon arriving home, what's this? We'd been outmaneuvered. Mark had moved all his belongings out while I was in the hospital. No, this might actually be an opportunity. Let's find what I asked you to get. All right. I collected Mark's hair and the toothbrush he left behind. Will this be enough? It should be fine. Our home became our base of operations. I need to investigate something else, what I heard from Natalie about the possibility of Mark cheating. I'll look into that just to be safe. Is that okay? Of course, family helps each other. My brother busily started his investigation. I was grateful for his help, even his family. About a week later, Mark called again. What? Hey, we need to talk about the divorce. Make sure you come. A meeting? Yes, let's settle this once and for all, though I'm sure I'll win. We'll see about that, just don't run away. Of course, don't you run away either. After the call, we immediately started our final strategy meeting. The information my brother uncovered was shocking, and I believed it could bring Mark down. Finally, the day of the direct confrontation arrived. We each prepared lawyers for the negotiation. Natalie and Alex came with me to the meeting. I demanded divorce and alimony from this despicable woman. She tried to make me raise someone else's child. You seem very confident. And you seem too relaxed. You won't be so smug for long. I'm the victim here. Mark seemed utterly convinced of his victory. You talk big, but you might be the one paying alimony. What? Have you lost your mind? Alex, it's your turn. I've got this. Alex then stepped outside and returned with someone. Sorry to keep you waiting, sis. I've brought a key witness. Mark's eyes widened in shock. Why are you here? His surprise was understandable. Alex had brought Dr. Smith, who he had trusted. I'm sorry, Mark, but everything has been exposed. You used your friend, Dr. Smith, to falsify the DNA test results, didn't you? Bringing Smith here doesn't prove anything. Mark was still resistant. Then look at this, I said, showing him a paper. What's this? Why don't you read it? It's the result of a new DNA test. It clearly states that you and the baby are related 100%. Alex confronted Mark. I had suspicions, so I got another test done, and it confirmed our relationship. Then I confronted Dr. Smith, and he confessed that you paid him, and you were planning to use the alimony you got from me to pay him off. You're truly despicable. Darn it. Mark hit the table in frustration. There's more. Alex, please. Sure thing. Alex spread several photos on the table, showing Mark with a young woman. You accused me of cheating, yet here you are, the actual cheater. How did you get these? Well, I looked at Alex. I used to work as a trainee detective during my student days. I applied that knowledge here. And about the woman in these photos, she's a junior employee of yours. We've already reported it to your company. You did what? You're messing around. No, the one messing around is you, dragging everyone into your mess. With all the evidence laid out, Mark had no escape. Now let me state my demands clearly. Listen carefully. I handed it over to my lawyer. I will now state Emily's demands. The lawyer presented the demands for divorce, alimony for the affair, child support, and addressed the issue of falsifying the DNA test. We also planned to claim alimony from the woman involved in the affair. Mark, once so confident, was now drained of all resistance. The divorce papers were handed over to my lawyer for processing. Do you have anything else you want to say? I'm willing to listen now. I thought I would get away with it. Life isn't that easy. Such a foolish man. What should I do now? That's not my problem. You should live with this regret. We left Mark, a shadow of his former self, and celebrated with my sister and brother. We can finally relax. I guess I did a good job. Of course, I'm grateful to Alex. I successfully divorced Mark. As per our agreement, I received alimony and child support in a lump sum. Mark didn't have the money, so his parents paid on his behalf. I'm sorry about everything, Emily. It's not your fault. You were deceived by Mark too. Did you receive the money all right? But didn't Mark pay? We covered it for him. That's not right. In that case, despite my decision to not get involved anymore, I found myself calling in anger due to the overwhelming frustration. Hello, is that Emily? What do you want? You had your parents cover the alimony. How low can you go? It's none of your business anymore. Yes, that's right, but I just had to say something. I couldn't rest without doing so. Afterward, I learned that Mark was disowned by his parents. Moreover, I've been disowned. Oh, that I advised them to do so. What? Well, good luck with everything. Bye. And with that, I ended the call. I felt incredibly relieved. My actions also led to Mark and his affair partner losing their jobs. Eventually, he was abandoned by his affair partner and left alone. I checked on him. He's just scraping by with part-time jobs now. Is that so? Well, he got what he deserved. Truly a foolish man. I named my son Kevin, hoping he would grow up to be nothing like his father. Now I look forward to a happy life with my beloved son Kevin.